Yakovlev Yak-141 Freestyle, a jump jet that almost changed carrier aviation. There's something cinematic about aircraft that refuse to follow the rules of gravity. The Soviet Yakovlev Yak-141, NATO reporting name Freestyle, belongs in that small, dramatic club of jump jets, fighters designed to leap straight up from a deck and then, with a twist of hot metal and engineering bravado, rocket into supersonic cruise. Born in the dying embers of the Cold War, the Yak-141 promised to be the Soviet answer to the growing Western obsession with flexible carrier aviation, fast, lethal, and able to operate with minimal runway real estate. It flew, impressed, and then vanished, leaving behind prototypes, photographs, and a what-if that still tempts designers and dreamers alike. A design built to square off with physics. The Yak-141's visual language is purposeful. A sleek fuselage, cropped delta-like wings, twin outward canted vertical stabilizers, and engine intakes that look ready to inhale a world of air at speed. But its uniqueness lay inside. A propulsion concept that blended a powerful vectored main engine with auxiliary lift engines, enabling vertical takeoff landing, VTOL, and short takeoff vertical landing, STOL modes without sacrificing supersonic dash capability. This wasn't a slow jump jet like the Yak-38. Yakovlev was chasing real fighter performance. In engineering terms, that meant carrying both the mass penalty of lift jets and the aerodynamic cleanliness needed for Mach flight. A devilish compromise. Under the fuselage sat a central turbofan. The R-79 V300 was intended for the production variant, paired with two dedicated RD-41 lift jets that powered vertical operations. The Yakovlev team used reaction control jets and vectored thrust to manage hover and transition, an orchestration of complex aerothermal flows and fast-acting controls. That system gave the aircraft agility while hovering and the raw shove to punch through the sound barrier at altitude. In short, it combined two rival priorities, vertical operations and supersonic interception, in one airframe. From drawing board to demonstrator, the Yak-141 first left the ground on night of March 1987, kicking off a frenetic program of flight testing and refinement. Yakovlev built a small run of prototypes to validate the concept. These aircraft proved capable in both hover and high-speed regimes. By the early 1990s, the prototype's public debut at the 1992 Farnborough Air Show crystallized the plane's narrative. A supersonic jump jet that could hover, accelerate, and land with astonishing composure. The display was the perfect image for a nation reimagining its military hardware on the global stage. But the Farnborough appearance also highlighted the Yak-141's raw power in an unexpected way. The aircraft's vertical thrust caused excessive wear on the airshow runway, prompting some operational restrictions. The spectacle of hot jet exhaust scouring a runway was, ironically, a bit of real-world PR that underscored how much energy the jet put into vertical flight. Politics, economics, and the abrupt end. Technical promise is never the only currency in aerospace. The Yak-141 matured amid seismic political and economic shifts, the collapse of the Soviet Union, budgetary collapse, and a chaotic defense industry environment. Despite successful flights and international interest, the program was canceled in August 1991 as priorities shifted and funding evaporated. A handful of prototypes remain in museums and static displays, silent monuments to what might have been. Yet the story didn't end with cancellation. In the post-Soviet swirl, Yakovlev even explored limited cooperation with Western firms. Reports of a brief agreement with Lockheed for further prototype work surfaced in the early 1990s, hinting at the strange new world in which erstwhile rivals were tentatively comparing notes. That blending of technical curiosity across old divides underlined one truth. Good engineering can attract attention even when geopolitics sputters. Strengths and compromises. What made the Yak-141 compelling, its dual role as VTOL and supersonic fighter, also embodies its technical Achilles heel. The lift engines increased weight and consumed internal volume and fuel, reducing range and payload compared to conventional fighters. But Yakovlev's engineers accepted those trade-offs because they were designing for the Soviet Navy's unique needs. Operate from smaller carriers or ski jump decks, increase sortie flexibility, and provide fleet air defense without long runways ashore. Performance figures published and discussed by analysts suggested impressive capabilities, high climb rates, credible acceleration to supersonic speeds with light loads, and sensitive pilot-friendly controls. On paper and in flight tests, the Yak-141 bridged the gap between a helicopter's vertical freedom and a jet fighter's speed. Still, that middle ground comes at cost, in maintenance complexity, logistics, and operational doctrine, factors that often doom technically brilliant aircraft in austere budgets. The legacy, technology, museum pieces, and echoes in modern design. Even canceled programs leave traces. The Yak-141's technological experiments influenced